Too raw for TV.
What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. So before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Darius Robinson for the $10 donation via the Cash App. And he put out a statement which is the subject matter of this particular video, and that is that the 76ers organization is full of Klutch clients. Now, you may recall, those of you who've been subscribed to me for quite some time, I think I actually did that video on my Too Raw for Sports channel back in the day. I did a video highlighting how infiltrated Klutch had become when it came to the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Like, literally half the roster was Klutch. Now, mind you, when I did that video, which I think was around 2022 or 2023, LeBron was already like 4 or 5 years into his career, or his stint, I should say, with the Lakers. LeBron is just getting to Philly. He's just getting to Philly. And I want to point something out already before I go forward with this. Already, with the Philadelphia 76ers, you have LeBron James, obviously represented by Klutch. Tyrese Maxey, another star player who is represented by Klutch. KCP, who is soon to sign officially with the Philadelphia 76ers. He's represented by Klutch. Another player on the roster, Justin Edwards, he's signed by Klutch. Marshawn Beauchamp, who last year played with the Philadelphia 76ers, went down to their G League affiliate. So I think he's still with the affiliate, but technically, because he's with the affiliate, last I checked, he's still with the Sixers organization. Marshawn Beauchamp is represented by Klutch. And last but certainly not least, and very significant in this situation, the head coach, Nick Nurse, is represented by Klutch. How is that not a conflict of interest to have the head coach, the guy who is in charge of minutes and substitutions, and as far as depth chart, and a guy who is generally the manager of the team, is represented by essentially the sports group that, although in name Rich Paul runs, Rich Paul is the boyhood friend of LeBron. And we know LeBron is really the muscle, and he's really the person who runs Klutch. The whole thing is a conflict of interest, in my opinion, but it is what it is, right? So, Rich Paul recently on his podcast with sellout Max Kellerman, I think it's called Game Over Podcast, he tried to counter the facts that wherever LeBron goes, teams have to make concessions to him. He's trying to say, oh no, that's not true, blah, 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 which is absolute crap. LeBron never has to go anywhere where he has to make concessions. And whatever little concessions he does make, as far as taking a lesser role offensively, he pisses a bitch and huffs and puffs and throws epic childlike tantrums.
Yeah, and the reality, I think, what the like you said, the things that's perceived is so far from the truth. One of those things is like, okay, if I think someone said, oh, if you sign LeBron, he comes with all this. He doesn't come with anything. He comes with himself. Obviously, the teams know.
Comes with KCP apparently for very little money. I mean, like he comes with a few things.
But see, in that case though, Max, I had talked to Zach Kleiman of the Grizzlies about a KCP buyout a whole month ago.
And then once LeBron's in Philly, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's just like I said to Zach, I said to Shams, and I said to KCP, there's no sense of getting a buyout now because there's nowhere to land. You wait, let things unfold, not even knowing that this was going to unfold. I'm talking about this was a while ago. This was, we have these
LeBron could have gone back to the Lakers at this point.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so, but again, I think when people say that, they have this idea that he's asking for all these things. We were not raised like that. Just first and foremost, we were not raised like that. We were actually raised the opposite way. Don't ask nobody for anything if you can't get it yourself. The second part of that is the one thing that he does ask for is to be in position to win. And if being in position to win is a negative ask, then what are you in team sports for in that case?
Right.
Like, I just don't understand
Well,
that.
I mean, if LeBron...
Look, man, it's one thing to try to be in position to win in sports. Selecting the organization that you think you'll be a good fit with and going to a team where you think that you could be a contributor and you guys can win something. That's one thing. But using your power and influence to manipulate organizations so that your bottom line, because let's not make any mistakes about this, over the next couple of years, the team that was the most covered in basketball, the Lakers, that's gone. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers, an organization that has 3 championships but is not in the same league historically as, no pun intended, as the Lakers or the Celtics or even the Spurs or Warriors. As far as championships are concerned, they're going to become the most watched team. They're going to become the most marketable team, most watched team. So you don't think that it's a benefit to have as much representation for Klutch as possible with this team? By the way, the other sports star who just recently welcomed LeBron with open arms, Jalen Hurts, is also, just by coincidence, represented by, you guessed it, Klutch. This is a hostile takeover by Klutch of the city of brotherly love. You just had the governor, Josh Shapiro, basically throw LeBron a welcome to the city party. Probably gave him the key to the city and all that shit. And, look, I'm just going to say this. Josh Shapiro is, I don't know, he might be a good guy. But he's a member of a certain group that LeBron James has historically bent over backwards, perhaps not just figuratively, to ingratiate himself to. He makes sure that he bends, that he does everything he can, bend the knee, all of that shit, to always stay in their good graces. And I believe that in many instances, he's probably financially ensuring that he stays in good graces with his people. And as a result of that, or as, that's what I'm looking for, in return, he gets protection. He gets protection for a lot of things as far as his dirt is concerned. Also, LeBron's now in Philly, which, although he's going to live in New York and commute to Philly, he plays for a city that is overwhelmingly African American and overwhelmingly Democratic. We know that LeBron is a Democratic shield. He's going to build, I honestly believe, now that he's very near the end of his political, excuse me, I gave it away right there. Now that he's near the end of his basketball career, I would not put it past him that LeBron eventually enters politics. Because it is known that many Democratic officials want LeBron to at least consider going into politics. Now, I don't know, look, me, just based upon what I hear from Philadelphia fans, at least historically, they're very suspicious of outsiders. They do not like people who come across as standoffish or snobbish. Maybe it's because Philadelphia historically feels snubbed. At one point in time, Philadelphia was the capital of a young United States of America before the capital of the country was relocated to New York City briefly, and then it became Washington, D.C. once that city was finally finished and constructed around 1800. But I'm just saying, man, the takeover, the not so hostile takeover of Philly continues. I think they're going to have more players on the roster represented by Klutch. So I don't think that's done. I would not be surprised if somehow Anthony Davis does line up on this team, or some other players. And it is what it is, man. But y'all tell me what you guys think.